Hey guys, it's me, Rena from Snailworks Crochet, and today's video I will be talking about the Hooks and Needles subscription box. The good, the bad, and the okay. So for those of you new to my channel, hi, welcome. But I have been, for the past couple of months, subscribed to the Hooks and Needles subscription box, specifically the crochet subscription box. And I've been, doing a review on the individual boxes that I've received. For the past 3-ish months, I subscribed to the service just to kind of get a feel of, what it is like to get a box. Some of my reviews have been okay, some of my reviews have been pretty negative, but overall, I've shared my opinions on each box that I've gotten. And now this video will be the consolidated thoughts of what I think of the service overall. TLDR, the box is fine. I personally will not continue subscribing, but it's fine. Now, Hooks and Needles has been on a social media marketing kick for a while. A lot of people who do fiber art, specifically in knitting and crochet, they have sponsorships and affiliate codes from Hooks and Needles. So that's kind of what drew me to checking out the product in the first place. I actually used an influencer affiliate code to check out the box myself, and it gave me like the first box 20% off, which is not a lot because they're still shipping, but it's fine. So I was subscribed to the service for 3 months. I actually had to skip a month, and I can get into that a little bit. And I actually have individual videos for each box that I received in that month. I will link that playlist in the description below. So the primary reason I subscribed to the service for 3 months versus just 1 month is because you will not like everything you get in a subscription box. This is not new for any subscription box. The point is always just to figure out something you like or you don't like and try new things. I felt it was unfair to judge a service by just buying one box. I think that 3 months that I was subscribed to the service was a pretty good representation of what it actually is like. And now let's get to the review. Now, I do want to give a special shout out to the YouTube channel Fred Makes Things because their reviews made me realize something about the Hooks and Needles box. So in most subscription boxes, everybody gets the same thing, but I found out through their channel that they don't give you the same thing every month. Like, everybody gets a unique box depending on how long they were subscribed to the service. So instead of the September box, October box, November box, it would be box 1, box 2, box 3. My gut reaction thinks that's kind of a logistical nightmare, but honestly, I don't really know if that actually is or not. I'm no logistics expert, okay? And another thing that was interesting was the usability of the box and, whenever you have to make changes to your account. So, for example, I had to skip a month because I was traveling for the holidays, so I chose to skip December's box. The interesting thing is that they don't force you to make a unique account when you make a subscription. And if you ever want to manage your subscription or skip a month, cancel, or change to the knitting box, for example, you type in your email address, the one that you used for, billing and stuff, and they send you a 4-digit verification code. And then once you type that in, you can manage your preferences. When I saw this, it kind of freaked me out a little bit, for the whole cybersecurity angle. But I asked somebody about this, and this is what they said. For an average person who reuses passwords, it's probably about as secure. But if you do what you're supposed to do and use unique passwords per site, then it's less secure. It just means that a hacker needs to know your email password instead of your account and password. I'm sure this type of format isn't new, but it did weird me out a little bit when I tried to manage my subscription. Now, outside of that, managing a subscription is very easy. I was able to skip a month, no problem, and canceling was not impossible. I know a lot of companies are like, are you sure you want to cancel? And make you go through all sorts of crazy things in order to actually cancel your subscription. The Hooks and Needles site does not do that. They're actually pretty good about canceling the subscription when you say you want to cancel. I don't know, for me, it's kind of refreshing to see an easy cancellation, which says a lot about other things, but it's a good on Hooks and Needles. Now that's the service and some of the logistical things about the box. Let's get into the actual box. Okay, I'm gonna start trashing on this now. The hook they give you in the first box is trash. It's a metal hook with a weird wooden grip. Maybe I just don't like wooden grips, but it's not the best ergonomic design, and it wasn't a problem most of the time, but in my second box, I had very splitty yarn. The yarn would get stuck in the glue on the hook, connecting the metal part and the wooden part together, and because all of my stuff were puff stitches, that box just kept pissing me off. I actually ended up switching to my Clover Soft Touch hook instead, and when I did that, I had less problems. On my third box, they gave me I think 3.5 millimeter hook. Yeah, and that was a lot better. And personally, I think they should just used that line of hook instead of whatever custom hook they provided in that first box for all their patterns. Now here's a huge nitpick because I'm picky. I think they should have at least had their official patterns in all of their booklets using the same hook that they provide. I personally think if you're going to be providing a hook and patterns to follow, your official images should also be using that same hook you provide to customers. It's funny that they give you the weird wooden hook, but then the photos in their pattern pamphlet show instructions using a completely different hook. Had the official Hooks and Needles branded hook been closer to the type of hook that I got in my third box, I probably wouldn't have as much of a nitpick. Look, this is a nitpick that I know nobody cares about. The reason I have this nitpick is because I work for a large company and they're very big on branding and how employees should not be consumers of competitor products, which that's a little bit cringy because the company should not be controlling what I do in my personal time. But it kind of does lead me back to the point of if you're going to provide materials for your kits and for your subscription box, you should not be using a different brand's materials. And I know they sell them on their website, but I think if you provide it, you should be using it for your official visuals. Now, the pattern booklet that they provide it's a little questionable, honestly. They did have photos, but the photos were kind of funky. All of their pamphlets did have digital QR codes for you to scan, but those QR codes just led to a digital version of that pamphlet, which could be useful, but I think they could have done a little bit more with that personally. I personally think they missed an opportunity to try and add a video tutorial in that QR code. For example, on the first box, I was struggling how to figure out the level 1 beginner headband on how to piece that all together. It was like the Seaman's knot or something. I could not figure that out. I ended up having to look up a different YouTube tutorial to do that. I've seen my fair share of snark about crocheters needing hand holding and stuff, but here's the thing. They have a huge social media marketing campaign saying that all of their boxes are beginner friendly. And I'm not saying they're not beginner friendly, but they could be more beginner friendly by adding some video tutorials. Also, some of the pattern choices they have with the yarn they give you is a little weird too. And this is me quoting a Reddit user on this box. This person said, The tools they send are poor quality. The yarn was great and I enjoyed a couple of the patterns. The patterns didn't seem to match the yarn type, were mostly unappealing, and the way the instructions were written was weird. For what it cost, I couldn't continue. And I think that kind of sums up my general perspective on the box itself. It's like, but the materials they send are like kind of weird, and the patterns are really weirdly written and are also odd choices considering the yarn that was sent. Now, I would consider myself at this point a more advanced crocheter, or if not advanced crocheter, at least further along in my crochet journey to kind of know what I like and don't like. So because I know what I like and don't like, this type of box is not for me. I personally think this box is perfect for a beginner crocheter who's still experimenting with the things they like. The channel I referenced earlier, Fred Makes Things, had more positive things to say about the service because they are a lot earlier in their crochet journey. The patterns provided are basic, but are good inspiration for future projects. For example, in my second month, I absolutely hated making that hexagon granny square purse because I hated puff stitches. However, I had never considered making a purse out of hexagons, and I think that pattern could be very useful for something I decide to do later on. So I may not have liked the pattern that they gave me, but I liked the idea overall. Now that being said, I only tried the crochet box. I actually think, especially at this point in time, I might actually like the knit box more because I'm a lot newer to knitting and I don't know what I like and dislike. So if I were to try this service again, I would actually try the knitting box, but I did not do the knitting box for this review. I did the crochet box. And since I'm a lot further in my crochet journey, I would not continue the service. That doesn't necessarily mean I would discount using the service again because I think overall it's fine. It is just personally not for me. I would say that overall sums up my general opinions holistically on the Hooks and Needles subscription box. Now, with that, I will conclude my video here. Let me know down in the comments, have you ever tried the Hooks and Needles subscription box? What did you think about it? And when you tried it, were you a more advanced crocheter or a beginner? Because I do genuinely think this box is fantastic for beginners, especially if you haven't figured out your way with crochet. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!